safety net, I felt a bit of pressure to make sure that my disability wasn't too much of a problem for the cast and crew and stuff. How about you when you're filming and things?
Yeah, I think I try to be conscientious of kind of my presence. Having a disability or not, it's very important to be conscientious as an actor of everything around you. You don't want to infringe on people. You don't want to shadow people, and at the same time, you don't want to feel like a burden to people. And at the same time, though, you can't hold that mentality to yourself, because then you lose who you are as an individual, trying to protect yourself from being who you really are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I don't really think about my disability when I come to set. I just do, and I just go and be myself, and that's the reason why you got to that position. Is not because of your whatever it may be of perception of limitation, but your talent and your skill. And at the end of the day, you got there by being you. Whatever it may be that you feel may be a hindrance, which we all have them, but that's what got you there.
Yeah. Do you think there's a change in society when it comes to the disabled so far?
100%. The world changes every day. You change every day. There are changes happening right now. We may not see them for a year or 10 years, but the world is changing. And I do see more rights. I do see more advocates. I do see more awareness. Is it where we want it? Is it where it should be? No. But is anything where we want it or where it should be? No. We don't always get what we want. But what we can do is we can work towards what we want, and we can put more people in positions that grow and that work like yourself, that are working and wanting to be an advocate and wanting to be that person that does and follows his dream. The best part about this is you and me are one of millions that have the same goal. So when we are able to really work together, the possibilities are endless.
What do you find the most challenging part of being an actor with a disability?
I think there's a hard part about disability in general, and it's when people think of disability, they think of liability. And I think that is something that people don't understand, that just because I have a disability does not make me a liability. It doesn't make me someone that's any less than anyone else. It actually gives me an opportunity to enhance everything I'm doing. Acting is hard. Acting is not easy. It is a very strenuous and taxing career. But if you love it, you go at it wholeheartedly. And it's hard to get into, it's hard to maintain. But I find that this isn't just for people with disabilities, though. This is for everyone. This is for someone that's just that average rando that's like from middle of nowhere, that's like, I have a dream. But that's all of us. That's everyone, disabled or non-disabled. We have these ambitions. We have these drives. We're human. We're all technically the same species, and we all want the same things, and that's better life for ourselves and for our families, and to just be. And I find more often than not, people don't understand that. People see a disability, or they see a limp or whatever it may be. For me, my left side is what is mostly affected, with my hand and my shoulder. And so it's sometimes, maybe that's what someone notices first about me. And at the same time, I don't care. That's because that's not who I am. That's not what reflects me. That's a part of me, but that's not me, It's that fraction. So I think the hardest part is just the perception that people place upon you and upon other people isn't accurate. But that is also our job as an actor, to show true self, true belief, true entity of what we are and who we are. And we are given the opportunity to do so. The most important thing I can tell anyone that wants to be an actor, or really any industry, be consistent. If you are consistent, they will consistently hire you. And that's what's really relevant when it comes to the industry is kindness, consistency, and being on time. Even if they're not on time, you make sure you be like, hey, I've been waiting.
What would be your dream role?
I look at as a escape, as something that I can go and be a different person and not have to worry about everything that's out here, because all I need to worry about is what's happening in this little tiny box. And for me, I'm that's what I prefer. So when I'm able to stretch who I am, and that's either a love interest or a killer or a victim or whatever it may be, I enjoy it full-heartedly, and it stretches that muscle. But I do it all. You gotta do it all. You can't put yourself in a box.
I feel really lucky to be able to have like you as a role model, like another disabled actor, so that, you know, with like the same disability as me, and so that I can know that I can actually do this. Did you ever have a role model as like when you were my age?
Yeah, I have role models. You know, I think for me, my role models were a little bit different in the regard of how I viewed them. My grandparents were very big role models to me. My grandfather had a stroke and was fully paralyzed on his left side. And then my other grandfather was a Marine, and he was a hard worker, worked fisherman, hunter, and those were my really big role models growing up. And my grandparents and my grandmothers. When it came to television role models, I think for me, the closest thing I ever looked at and was related to me was Forrest Gump. And it wasn't like an accurate portrayal, but it was someone where I was like, hey, that's kind of like me. But, you know, I think in your life you can take, and you should have numerous role models, and take the best parts of all of them and learn from those, because we all have follies and we all have things that sometimes role models can turn against you. You know, sometimes you're like disappointed when you meet them or when you see them. And for me, I find it's very important to find those traits that you like and that you want to portray, and utilize them in a way where they make sense.
What support did you have growing up?
Support-wise, you know, I had my mom and my grandparents. And then when it came to my cerebral palsy, Shriners Hospital for Children, I went to from 3 to 13 with braces and feet binding and the casting and the whole 9 yards, and physical therapy and occupational therapy. But for the most part, you know, I have a very strong family. Sadly, a lot of them are deceased now, but that's life. And we're still very close. So just keep on keeping on has really been the name of the support.
I see a bunch of therapists, OTs, exercise physiologists, and everything. You know, the whole shebang. Do you still have the stuff to manage your CP? Does it end?
You only get stronger. But it doesn't go away. This is a lifelong thing. This isn't. Don't look at it as an infliction or a weakness or something that this is an opportunity. Cerebral palsy is an opportunity, and it only picks very few people but it's picked us. And so with this opportunity comes responsibilities. And those responsibilities are to our body and to our mind. But I find for me though, doing stuff at home, finding exercises and like your keyboard and all your stuff that you do that is hard now to do will be easy in a year. You know what I'm saying? And what you can't do now, you will be able to do then. But it takes practice and time. I'm gonna tell you now, everything gets better. And you'll know how you want to be treated. You'll find your friends that truly care about you. Because it is important to make friends. But not everyone's your friend. no matter even if they are right now, not always those aren't your friends forever. And high school will provide you an opportunity to find your true friends. Those people that don't disvalue you or don't discriminate on who you are as an individual, but give you those people that will raise you up, and by them raising you up and you raising them up, you will all grow together in the future.
So the theme for this CP Day this year, right, is your mark. And what I'd love to be Australia's first sort of rock and metal band frontman, and I mean like properly successful, with CP. What mark do you want to make?
Any mark. I'm okay with making any mark, and be it positive or negative. It's important to not just make a mark, but make a difference. And for me, I want to see a growth. I want to see a change. I want to see a better future and a better world for everyone, in every regard. Sometimes people have small minds and live not in reality. And I find that sometimes it's okay for that, because they don't have to live in our reality. They don't have to live. People deserve to live in the reality that they want, whether you agree with it or not. And that's what I want to see. I want to see a world where people can function without having to worry about functioning.
Most often you'll see non-disabled people playing disabled roles. Are there any roles that are not necessarily disabled people but you'd love to see played by disabled people? Like a sort of James Bond or superhero kind of guy?
Yeah, I think some superheroes, every superhero actually technically has a disability. If you think about Superman, his disability is kryptonite. Batman, it's emotional. There's these emotional aspects that superheroes have that propel them, and I think it's a great opportunity for people that have disabilities to utilize those characters. For me, I would just like to see more people that have physical disabilities that people can relate to and people can see, and physical or mental, but it's easier to show a physical disability in a normal setting than a mental disability, because it's hard, because not everyone understands it, But I like to see more people with disabilities get positions that aren't specific to disability as a whole, in general. And I think that's something that we're seeing more of. And I think though that with people like you and people like me, we can do that. Really, people like you're the generation. You're the guy that's going to change the world after me.